Senator Berry,
Present.
Senator Branham, Senator Collister,
Present.
Senator DePaul,
Here.
Senator Dominguez,
Present.
Senator Colorado,
Yes.
Senator Hornsby,
Present.
Senator Hurtado, Senator Dixwell, Senator Johnson,
Present.
Senator Chukri,
Here.
Senator Muir, Senator Ortiz, Senator Price, Senator Rosales, Senator Sibley, Senator Woodard,
Present.
Senator Woodard.
Here.
Thank you, Zara. Now, if you would all please rise with me and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Senator Price, on a personal business. Yes. Senator Worley.
Move to approve the minutes from last week's meeting.
It has been moved by Senator Worley, seconded by Senator Withers to approve last week's minutes. Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, last week's minutes are approved. Senator Rosales. It has been moved and seconded by Senator Hornsby to approve this week's agenda. Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, this week's agenda is approved. We will now open up our gallery for any questions and answers. Just as a reminder for those of you who are planning on speaking in the gallery tonight, if you could please state and spell your name before you start speaking, just for the courtesy of our minutes, that would be wonderful.
My name is Julie Dunn, Julie Dunn.
And this is one of my club representatives for the Student Physical Therapy Association, and she's going to come to you and invite you to an event that they're doing.
Thank you for giving me some time to talk. Thanks, Michelle, for letting me be here. What I am giving the word out for today is our ISU Costume Fun Run. It's sponsored by the Student Activities Board as well as the Student Physical Therapy Association. And this year, this is the 6th year that we hosted it, and this year's going to be on Halloween, so Saturday, October 31st at 9 a.m. And it's going to be our biggest year yet, so I am recruiting your help to help us make it even bigger and better years ahead. It's a pretty fun thing. We have a 5K that we do here on campus. People dress up in costumes, and we give prizes away for best individual and best team costumes. And then we also have a kids 1 mile fun run, and then kids activities. So the two things that I am proposing is that A, you tell everyone that you know, and B, that if you're able to come and participate, that you do so. Also, we are in need of volunteers for this event, particularly for the kids activities. Because we are a graduate club, we are kind of isolated and secluded, and it's kind of hard for us to connect as well as we would like. And so, because we are a graduate club, half of our members will be on their clinical affiliations during the time of this, which leaves us seeking extra volunteers. So if you or any of the clubs that you're connected with could send any volunteers my way, or just get the word out and participate, we can take any and all involvement that we get.
To the senators, I will also be sending out an email with her email and contact information if you want to talk about this opportunity for them to help volunteer. Also, if you have any other information, contact her.
Thank you.
If you have something to present, Senator Price, you can read it.
So as I mentioned in caucus, to read those emails, I'm just going to read out the emails that was sent to me earlier today about some concerns that are going to be posed to us. Please read through the emails after the meeting as well, because I won't be reading them in full. The first email is sent by Aaron Kress. To whom it may concern, I am writing as a concerned Idaho State alumni, Bengal dancer alumni, and a community member on the proposition of the Prowler dance team. First of all, I want to say that I support all things dance. I love it. However, I do not support adding a dance team to the university at the expense of other dance groups who are currently there. One of the main concerns is the issue of finance. If the Prowlers wish to compete at a college national competition, they will have to fundraise a very large amount of money. Below is an approximate breakdown of what they will need to fundraise in order to attend NDA, which stands for Nationals in Daytona, Florida. All of the totals below are conservative amounts and could easily be higher. The amounts are totaled for 15 members, which is an average amount for a competition team. Registration hotel, $5,000. This is a discounted amount that it shows a bid, which is likely they will not receive. Plane tickets, $350 times 15 equals $5,250. This could easily be as high as $500. Salt Lake Airport parking gas of $400. Shuttles to and from Orlando Airport, $1,500. Food, $1,000. Choreographers includes fees and travel expenses plus hotels, $3,000 per choreographer times 2 is $6,000. Costumes, even if only do 100 per girl times 15 equals $1,500. Times 2 routines, $3,000. This is depending on costumes are cheap. Right now, that is a total of $22,150. That is a lot to fundraise. It is possible that may have to ask each girl to pay over $1,000 each. These amounts don't include any other items that they would probably need, such as shoes, tights, travel uniforms, team shirts, bags, etc. If you approve this club, I urge you to consider restricting the fundraising efforts and competitions in which they will be allowed to participate. Keep in mind that business and individuals in the community usually set a certain amount of money aside for support community and university groups. If they give money to the Prowlers, it will be taken away from other groups. I, a coach of a high school team, and also have talked with Pocatello, Highland, and Century High School dance coaches, and all of us agree that this could affect our fundraising efforts. This also should not be allowed to use the exact same fundraising as the IC Bengal dancers. The Bengal dancers have the university's financial investment. I encourage you to protect your investments. Sorry, my contact is. Although I support the dance community and would love to see it grow, I disagree with harming other groups in the process. I hope you will consider adding restrictions to the groups to protect the other dance teams at the university and the surrounding community. Here is some personal information about myself, just in case you are interested to know. I was a 4-year member of the Bengal Dancers and was a captain for my junior and senior years. I graduated from ISU and received a minor in dance education. I have worked in dance theater for 15 years. I have coached of the high school and American Falls for 9 years. I have served on the Idaho Coaches and Dance and Cheer Association for 6 years. I am the current president. I love dance. I'm an advocate for dance groups, but I don't believe that the group has the best intentions. I encourage you to consider turning them down or giving them restrictions to protect the other groups you are currently supporting at Idaho State University. Thank you, Aaron Kress. Also, there is another email that I received today. This also has links, so the links I hope that you did open before our Senate meeting. To whom it may concern, and this is by Caitlin Scow, Pocatello High School Dance Team, Community Recreation Center Dance Instructor. To whom it may concern, please find attachment 3 documents containing restrictions on the proposal of the Prowler Dance Club. If they are approved, Bengal Dancer purpose and events, as well as the Bengal Dancers fundraisers. These documents, I feel, will help shed some light on the current conflicts of Prowlers. As a former Bengal dancer, current community dance teacher, and Highland high school coach, I feel that allowing these girls to become a team would ruin the already established Bengal dancers. The Prowlers numerous times have belittled the coaching staff at Idaho State University, failed to turn in appropriate paperwork, and have caused community confusion. It offers, please read the articles that was in this email. The article states that they don't want to infringe upon the Bengal dancers and compete against them, but previous social media outlets states differently. Please take into consideration the lack of maturity these girls have shown. They have bashed, and this is just from the email, so it's not from my personal opinion as a senator, just from the email that I received. Employers, Idaho State University pays them through scholarship to dance coaches, as well as those alumni that have fought hard for the Bengal Dancers names and all that this stands for. They've changed the purpose of their club multiple times when public opinion differs from theirs. They've taken weeks to turn simple paperwork and have gone against the school student code of conduct, as well as the ASIC guidelines for clubs. Again, thank you for your time, and please contact me if you have any questions. Again, her name is Caitlin Snow. She does have 3 attached documents proposing different restrictions for the Bengal colors. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Senator Price. Senator Morado?
I'd like to recognize.
The gallery is still open for those of you who would like to address the Senate.
My name is Caitlin Scow. I'm from Shelton.
Yes, please.
CAICLYNSCOW. So I just wanted to take a minute and kind of explain those attachments that were sent in that email. Girls, I'm all for your dancing. I think it's awesome. I totally think it's awesome. I totally support the arts, but I do have a problem when it infringes upon other groups. So as far as kind of their purpose, the purpose of the Bengal Dancers is to go and perform in front of the community through ISU and represent ISU in an outstanding manner, as well as compete, and that's the biggest thing. They're there to compete nationally and to win a title for ISU and make ISU better than it already is. Okay, and the Prowlers trying to do the same thing is causing confusion. You can't have 2 football teams. You can't have 2 soccer teams. So why would you have 2 dance teams going and competing in a competition? Competition is great, competing is great, but when you send 2 teams to the same one, how do you think that's going to look? Probably not very good. I wouldn't want 2 football teams competing against each other in the same competition, the same conference. So competing, that's not good. An alternative to that is competing at the all-star competitions or going to dance conventions that are around this area. And even as far as Florida, New York, there's conventions everywhere. Those would be an awesome opportunity for the girls to continue dancing and continue to doing what they love. So that's kind of a restriction that I would like to place on them, is that they cannot compete at the same nationals that the Bengal Dancers compete. So therefore, they're not causing conflict. With that being said, there are a couple schools that do have 2 dance teams. But those 2 dance teams have huge restrictions placed upon each other so that they cannot interfere with each other and they cannot compete against each other. A couple of those schools are, just to kind of give you reference, University of Missouri has a student population of 35,000, and the University of Colorado, which also has a student population of 30,000. Both of those schools are way bigger than ISU, so they can therefore create 2 different dance teams, giving more people the opportunity to dance. Those schools do not overlap in purposes as far as what they're trying to do. So that's awesome. So that would be something that would also be important to the 2 groups, is that they do not overlap. The next thing I kind of wanted to talk about was, like was mentioned in the financial aspect, as a high school coach, it's expensive to be on a dance team, it costs money, and my girls have to go out and they have to find sponsors. If we're trying to add something else into that, we're creating more of a contention for ISU and for my high school teams, because a lot of times, like was mentioned earlier, companies only set out so much money for sponsorships. And if we're trying to add in another one that's affiliated with ISU, people are going to be like, well, yeah, ISU is great, awesome. But then that's missing out on other teams. It costs a lot of money to run a dance team, and these girls are just starting from scratch. No uniforms, no any type of logo or anything like that. They would have to figure those things out, and that's going to cost money. And that would be money out of ISU's pocket that they're already spending thousands of dollars for the Bengal dancers to provide the same purpose. So I would suggest that they are not a dance team, but rather a club, that they are responsible for providing their own fees to things so that they're not infringing upon ISU and what all they've already established. And a couple more restrictions that I would like to place on these girls if they are approved as a club, that they are only a club, they're not a team. There is a difference between a club and a team. A team is competitive, where a club is not necessarily competitive, and it's a group of people that get together and enjoy what they're doing. They will not use any part of Idaho State University's competitive type phraseology, but they're not putting that in there. Anything that they do as far as social media, websites, any competition that they go to, that they are recognized as a club. And the second one is attire. They can wear orange, black, and white. That's awesome. That's the school colors. But they do need to have, nothing that says big ISU symbol on it, okay? Yes, they may be affiliated with ISU, but they're not backed by ISU if they're a club. So they will not wear the official Idaho State University branded attire or logos. Performances is another restriction, that they are not allowed to perform at things that the Bengal dancers are already performing at. There is a list of that in that email on one of your attachments. Some of the things that the Bengal dancers are at, their homecoming, this whole week is homecoming, so they have performances this whole week, the bonfire, they have the game on Saturday. They also have March Through the Arch, not to mention all the basketball, volleyball, football games that they do performances at as well. So we would ask that they do not perform at any of those events that the Bengal dancers are already at. That if they do want to perform, they find other community events that they're more than welcome to perform at and show everyone what talent and ability they have. Okay, the club will not be allowed to perform at an official Idaho State University sponsored event or sporting event, and that not to cause confusion with that. Couple other things. It would be great if they're allowed to participate in any dance camps that offer all-star divisions, like I mentioned earlier. But again, no to UVA and NBA when the Bengal dancers are already at. And a couple of the other things that the Bengal dancers are involved in, they back to school events, they do the glow party, the paint party, and they also volunteer at the food bank once a month, which is an awesome thing to do and shows their involvement in the community. So I would just ask that if they are approved, that these restrictions are placed on them to help the two teams be successful, that they're not infringing upon each other, and that they can both be successful on different routes. Is there any questions?
Senator Worley.
I have a question pertaining to the restrictions. So I come from a club where we take ISU style logos, such as Betty, and we make it our own. So you say that you recommend a restriction on not allowing them for their team, like logo or symbol, to not include anything that is an ISU logo. Now, are you meaning specific Idaho State University watermarks, or do you mean anything that is Idaho State University pertaining, such as like if you put a Bengal on your uniform?
I think a Bengal is great, but as far as like the ISU logo that's on the computer over there, I don't think that is appropriate. I don't think that's appropriate. Anything that is similar to the Bengal dancers would not be appropriate because that would still be conflicting there as far as that goes. But if they wanted to use a paw print, awesome. Bengals, awesome. Just it cannot be similar to what the Bengal dancers already established. Any other questions?
Senator Withers.
Thank you, Vice President Donna. First, thank you for your insightful overview of that. I have a quick question in regards to, you brought up University of Missouri and University of Colorado and how they actually vary the state dance teams for different purposes. Do you know what those different purposes are?
One is a competitive team, and then the other one is more of an arts team, so it's more a performance like on a stage, doing more, I guess I should say stage work type performances, rather than I mean, I don't even know how to explain it, because I'm in the dance world, so I know the difference between the two, but competitive is very, this is what you do, this is how you do it, when you do it, and their performances are similar in that, but it's more of that artistic feel where you're maybe telling a story more so than competitive. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you for the clarification.
Yes.
Senator Call?
Just a quick question. How long has the Bengal dancers been?
They've been here for 18 years.
Are there any further questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Aaron P. Aaron. And I just wanted to say that it's not just girls on the Prowlers dance, because I'm there too. So, like, there's diversity there. Also, we're not necessarily looking for great dancers. We had signs at Red Hill that said everyone is welcome. And we didn't have any auditions, we have had people come in. So I just want to say that it's more diverse and it's more welcome. It's like not necessarily welcoming in the sense of environment, but in the sense of you can come in and see if you want to join us, and if you do, great. If you don't, awesome. Like, we're just there so we can show our love for dance. It's not necessarily that you have to audition to try to be part of us. You can just come in. Yeah.
Senator Price?
Thank you, Vice President Luna. So when you say everyone is welcome to come participate, when you guys go out to compete, will everyone be able to compete even though the standards of ability may not be there?
That I just wanted to say that, like, it's for everybody. We're not trying to limit ourselves.
Any further questions? Seeing none. Senator Hornsby?
I'm not so much asking a question as I'm extending my apology on behalf of all of us if we had used the terminology all of you girls neglected to.
I just wanted to
as well,
say,
just make sure I'm not setting my toes. But we'll be sure to address you properly.
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you.
My name is Haley Erickson, HALLIE, I am the Century High School dance coach. I'm also an alumni of Bengal Dancers. A few things that I wanted to bring to light as well is the Bengal Dancers also has a male on their team this year, so they also have diversity. The other thing I wanted to point out is there is also a dance-on ISU here that is more of an arts form dance program that ISU already has. That I feel like is a great program already, that if your love for dance is there and you love it as an art, you should support a program that's already here. And the next thing I wanted to point out is if it's a club that the confusion is, are they going to have like a coach of any sort, or is it going to be completely student-run club? And if that's the case, then that addresses when they go to competition. If they want to be able to compete, and if you guys are going to approve it and put funds towards them, you would hope that they don't compete at a high level, so they actually bring back some sort of award or placing. Bengal Dancers does place highly every year at nationals. They've been ranked every single year pretty much since they started. Where if it's a club and everybody's allowed to go compete, where there are different levels of dancing, I don't think they will be able to compete and represent ISU if you approve them at the level that we would hope. And then in a way, if they're not able to compete, which is what they're wanting, I feel like it would kind of be a waste of money to put into the program if they aren't able to even compete at the level that they have.
Any questions? Senator Johnson?
What levels can you compete at?
They have different divisions, much like in other sports. Like there's Division 1, Division 2. Bengal Dancers, I believe, compete at Division 1A. It's kind of different in the dance world. if they were to get approved, and if they did it as a club, if they wanted to compete collegiately, the only program that accepts, two teams from one school is NBA, which would be directly in competition with Bengal Dancers if they go as a collegiate team. If they go as an all-star team, they can still go through NBA, but it will be an all-star team, and it would be different than associated with the college. And they have different levels, and I think it's divided the same way, like 1, 2, 1A kind of thing. But the size of, they go by the size of the university, and so they would have to compete at the school level of the
Senator Hornsby.
Someone previously defined the acronym earlier, but could you please define NDA?
National Dance Alliance.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Senator Johnson.
So, and you said at All-Star, it wouldn't be associated with the college.
Correct.
What do you mean by that?
When you compete in NBA under an all-star team, you come up with a different name than like Bengal Dancers. It represents ISU. When you go compete at an all-star level, you can come from the university, but it's not the Idaho State University all-star team.
Any further questions? Senator Withers.
Thank you, Chair. So if we did go along with the restrictions that have been proposed for Judy, would the Prowlers be able to compete with these since that would be in direct competition with the Bengal Dancers?
They would be able to compete at NBA, but in the all-star division if we went with the restrictions.
Perfect. Thank you for clarification.
Sorry.
Senator Johnson.
And the All-Star costs just as much as the NBA.
Usually it costs more because universities back their own into their collegiate level or college level. It's more similar to a studio dance team. If you're familiar with studio, it's personal, we ran outside of a school program.
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you.
My name is Raquel Sackner, RAQUEL SACKNOFF. And I'm part of Prowlers Dance Club and Dance On, so I just want to compare the difference between them. Dance On is more like you go, we have a meeting and we do a little bit of technique practice, and then you split off into different groups and learn choreography from different choreographers and perform those at the end of the semester or the end of the year. And Prowlers is different. Like we meet twice a week and we do technique and then we learn dances for fun or for performances. So there's a difference between practicing and learning choreography just for one performance versus practicing for different things and finding different performances to do in the community. So there's a difference between the two.
Are there any questions? Senator Hollister.
What would you say that the major difference between the two clubs would be?
I would just say that Dance On is more focused on learning like individual dances for an individual performance, whereas Prowlers, you learn multiple dances for different performances depending on the performance.
Thank you.
Senator Hornsby.
So you would say that in the Prowlers you have more freedom to do as you so desire with your dancing desires.
And Prowlers, at each practice, we usually do something different. Like we usually do technique and learn a dance, but some days we'll do different styles of dance or a different activity. But Dance On, it's always like we have a meeting, do technique, learn our dances.
Senator Takal.
Let's say that we approve you guys today. So can you give me some reasons behind you guys thinking that you are as competitive as Bengal Dancers? Can you just give me some good reasons saying how you can de-escalate these things?
We can be as competitive by practicing, working on our technique just as much and making sure we're at a certain level to be able to compete, and we can still go to competitions like NBA, or we can go to separate dance conventions or like Utah or other places.
Can you give me some current facts that?
Senator Call, that's out of order, you have to ask for a follow-up question. Senator Call.
So, what are the current facts that you think would be a good reasoning that makes you think that it would be as big as
College, we have a variety of dancers with all different levels of dance backgrounds, but we're working hard on all of our techniques. Like when you get a group of, like I just found Powers going to the involvement thing, and they just got a big group of people together that are different, but we're all like getting along, and our dancing styles are meshing really well. So when we learn to dance together and we do it together, like we do it.
Senator Hollister.
How often do the pilots currently meet?
Tuesdays and Thursdays for 2 hours.
Senator Johnson.
I'm not sure about that. I don't know much about that.
Senator Furtado.
Hi, thank you for coming. So I just had a quick question. Do you guys accept anyone into the club, or do you guys hold auditions and then if you score high enough or something, they can join the country?
Anyone can join, they can just come to any dance practice. And it's not, like, everyone in the club should try to go to all of the practices, but if you can't make it, it's not a regional at all, and you can join it.
Senator Johnson.
Do you need most or all the members of the dance to join the others? Or is there a difference that would make you stand up?
I'm not sure. If they're just looking for like a couple dances that they can do and perform at the end of the semester or the end of the year, then they'll probably just stick with dance on. But if they want to get out in the community more, they might open to them.
Senator Furtado.
Follow-up question. So I guess my first question is for you guys, it's for sure you guys are wanting to compete. Then my second question, if you guys are wanting to compete, how are you guys gonna determine who gets to go to the competition? Is it open to all of your members to go to the competition? Are they gonna have to pay out of pocket, or are you guys going to fundraise for that?
I'm not sure. I guess it depends on who wants to go to compete, or like the number of people that could be in the dance. Because I know with some dance competitions, there's like small group and large group, so it depends on how many people can be in the dance, and then I don't know if we want to charge for that.
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Hi, Brandy Johnston, BRANDY JOHN. So a couple things I'd like to address. One competitive aspect. As far as I remember from our last couple meetings, this past couple of weeks, I don't think we're looking to compete right now or this year, because that is definitely something that belongs to the Bengal dancers. And we are not trying to take anything away from the Bengal dancers. We have completely separate objectives than they do. They are a legacy that we definitely do not want to take away. And as far as Powers concerns me, it's way more time friendly, I guess you could say. I have time for work
and school and keep up on my grades as well as having time to dance and fulfill that need to dance. So when you ask the question about the facts of how do we think we could be better at competing, I think that's what you asked. I don't think right now we would be better at competing because that's not what we're trying to do. We're just trying to get a lot of girls together and guys, whoever welcome, to dance and have almost like a unity more friendly because the dance on which I had the opportunity to be a part of last year, my freshman year, it was more focused on the individual dancer and how you apply yourself individually as a dancer, which I think Powers is more of a unity, more altogether, not necessarily a team aspect, but a club where everybody comes together and still works together.
Senator Gonzalez.
How many members do you have that are part of the Prowlers?
I haven't really taken time to take count, but I'm sure it's around 20 members.
Senator Hornsby.
Since you don't know your member count, I don't know if you will know this, but do you know how many of your current members were scheduled dancers before joining the Prowlers?
A good portion, and one thing I'd like to say about that, I would say around 5 or 6. They have nothing negative to say about the Bengal dancers. They loved their time on there. They expressed it to us. The first meeting that they had, they all looked us in the eyes and said, if you have anything negative to say about the Bengal dancers, please leave, because that's not what we're about.
Senator Johnson.
So, were you a Bengal dancer before?
No, I've actually tried out, but I had an injury that really lingered on me, and I did not end up making it. So I'm going to think about the Powers. It's a good way for me to build up my skills.
So you said, all you have to do is say follow-up question, and then I'll just stop.
So when you were speaking about your schedule, you were speaking about the dance like you said, this would be more open to your schedule.
Yeah, I think dance on and Powers are both more time friendly when it comes to people who really want to focus more on school and not necessarily a dance career. But I do know a lot of people who are in dance on who are looking for a dance career, but they still have time for school and a job.
Senator Colorado.
How do the Prowlers currently govern themselves?
Government? Do you mean like?
As in, who do you have like a president to lead? Is it a group of position, which is just everyone together, they can voice their own opinions?
Currently right now, a few girls who used to be ex-Bengal dancers, they kind of made a little council. I'm not too educated on it, that's more like their matter of speaking today, but I think we do have a good set of like girls who lead us right now.
Senator Hornsby.
So you said that the council that you have is built up of previous Bengal dancers. So did this club form because they left and formed this club, or because this club existed because the Bengal dancers to form?
No, I do not know their ultimate reasoning for leaving the Bengal dancers. A lot of them really wanted to focus on school and get jobs, and I feel like forming a dance club for them would still give them that opportunity to dance, and while having people behind them who still want to dance, who maybe weren't fortunate enough to make the Bengal dance.
I'm just, I guess to be more precise, I'm more just trying to clarify that it was Bengal dancers who formed the Prowlers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further questions? Senator Muir.
So you said you have no plans to compete this year. Do you have plans to compete ever?
That I do not know right now. What we're really focused on is just getting the club up and running, and then putting adjustments out there when we actually do have a club. Competing obviously is a confliction with the Bengal dancers, so I don't see why we would choose to compete in these next couple of years when we're trying to build up a new club.
Any further questions? Idaho Falls Vice President Austin?
So if you were approved as a club with the restrictions as they stand right now, would they, I guess from your perspective of being a club member, would they it hinder you too much as a club?
I personally don't think so. I thought they were very reasonable because people do think they're trying to take the bagel dancer like spot almost, but with restrictions, it's more clear and we can have more of our own spot with a dance club on ISU. Because I feel that a lot of dancers are coming forward wanting to form a new club. We obviously have different objectives to dance on and make a difference.
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you. My name is Carly Weber, CARLIE-ANNWEBBER. First off, I'd like to introduce myself and say that right now I'm not a Prowlers member because I'm not enrolled in school. And so I am an outside source that has come in and worked with the club, and it's awesome being in there. So that's what I want to start off by saying. Also, I am an ex-Bengal dancer, and I want to clear up that we have nothing against Bengal dancers. If anything, we love being a part of it. I was on it for 3 years, and it is something I will hold close to my heart forever. I can't say that throw it away. It is somewhere I met wonderful girls on and had a wonderful time. And the whole club is not goal to overpower Bengal dancers. We just want to spread the love and passion of dance and welcome anyone into this club to dance. So just let go. And we've had multiple people come in, besides myself, to teach different dances or to kind of run a practice. And we've had different people come and go, but a lot of people have stuck around for it. And also, everybody that has come up here to talk on behalf of Prowlers were ex-Bengal dancers, and they wanted to come up here and just give a piece of what they feel after joining this club. And so some of the questions that were asked, they aren't aware of what, like, how to answer them because they're not the four head-on president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, which we do have. And we have not yet presented our constitution, which we have 2 individuals, or president, vice president, to come up and do that, which will clear up a lot of the questions that you've been asking. Another thing, I am going to be a second-year staff member on NBA, and that has enlightened us. And one other girl on the Prowlers team is also an NBA member, so we've had help from NBA to make sure we aren't crossing any boundaries, make sure that it isn't frowned upon, illegal, or however you want to put it, to go and compete. We've made sure everything is clear. We've got emails from the directors of NBA that were read out to all NBA staff members, not directly to us, stating new competition goals and the different divisions and what would happen if 2 schools competed against each other, which, as stated, happened. So I just wanted to say there isn't anything that we're trying to cross lines. We aren't trying to cause controversy. This is not our goal. And yes, it was a majority of ex-Bengal dancers that wanted to come up with a club, but we immediately got support from outside sources, whether they're girls on the team, family members, community members, businesses, and we're not trying to take away from Bengal dancers. And I really just want to reiterate that. And again, the girls that have come up here, they're not trying to not answer questions. Some of them are just not aware of what's been discussed because we don't want to discuss controversial matters with everyone and have it get construed.
Senator Berry.
So in the constitution that is going to be approved tonight, I noticed like the Prowlers are wanting to have associate members on their club, within their club. So are you going to be one of those associate members? And if you are, what is going to be your specific role?
My role, again, I understand I am not enrolled as a student this year, so I cannot sign a paper with Val saying I am a Prowlers member. I am solely here for the support And we also state that we want to bring in community members or anybody willing to help to do choreography, to do just different activities during practice or outside of practice time. And that's what I'm here for. 100% support and wanting to help individuals grow as dancers. And my thing is it's all about fun. So that's what I bring. When I come in, positivity and fun. That's all I care about. So that's my role, none, not official.
Senator Brown?
When you address the Prowlers, you said the Prowlers team. Are you looking to be a team or the Prowlers?
Correction. I also want to start out with that. We started out Prowlers dance team. We got a poster, everything. Then we had a meeting with Val. I was present for that meeting. And we went back and everything is changed to club. So that's something I have to get used to being on the team for all my life. So that's just a personal thing. My apologies. But yes, that's something I did want to clear up. We are Prowlers Dance Club. It's just something to get used to, but Constitution, everything has changed, and all the individuals that here knows we are a club. My apologies.
I also noticed on the Facebook page, there's still pictures with the Bengal or the Prowler team. Will those be changed?
Yes, that is one thing I have noticed recently. We went on our Instagram, because we did build an Instagram, just trying to get the name out there to get individuals kind of like recruitment. We changed on Instagram. It has not yet been changed there, but it will be. Everything will either be cropped or we are working on getting new pictures. So yes, everything, we are a club and all of us understand that.
Senator Johnson?
So being an ex-Bengal dancer, do you think there should be a difference between a club and a team as far as competition?
I understand the concern there. I can say, especially coming from alumni, because it is a legacy, it is a sisterhood, if you will, and we understand that. Again, being ex-Bengal dancers 3 years, I decided not to do it the 4th year for personal reasons, and so I understand that concern there, but I also have seen teams go to competition with different entitlement, I guess you could say. And we also discussed with Val that if we go to competition, we will be Idaho State University Prowlers Club. We will be almost under ASISU and be announced that way. And we will be announced as Prowlers Dance Club and not Idaho State University. We are not, again, not trying to overlap that in any way. So I see the concern, but I also don't see why we can't open the doors for more people to go compete.
Any further questions? Senator Hornsby?
Does does the Prowlers Dance Club have any functions right now that would require a need for, say, funding or fundraising that aren't competition-based? Things that could detract from funding that goes to local dance.
Not that I can think of. We do have, again, with our president and vice president coming up here, we do have an outline of what we want to do this next semester for fundraising and what all the money would go to. Unfortunately, with this meeting being held at this time, we are not able to do that and are going to have to work a little harder for fundraising, especially if we go to competition. But if we do fundraising for anything else, it would be stuff for the club, with matching outfits, or if we're going to do performances, trying to have more of that club unity rather than just say, hey, we're orange and black for this. So I don't think it would necessarily detract from any other team, and our fundraisers are all completely different. Because being on the team, we knew we didn't want to take away from what they are doing. We weren't going to do the same fundraisers. We had to have the challenge of finding new fundraisers and finding money in a different way for different things. Again, we're not trying to be Bengal dance team. We're trying to be something different.
Senator Bailey?
So, my understanding, you guys should come before us in September, but there was like a holdup. What was that issue there?
So unfortunately, it didn't come through until this Monday, so everything is kind of thrown around. It was one of the individuals didn't have enrollment in the correct manner, just because
of personal reasons, and a loan didn't go through, so she was able to go to classes, everything was up on Moodle, and so she was aware, she was an enrolled student, she was going to classes, had grades, taking tests, working hard for her classes, and found out that she no longer is considered a student and can no longer be president, which was a big deal because she was our president. And so on Monday, we had to switch that all around, and our 4 chairs had to be kind of fixed. And so it's a personal thing, but it was all a misconception with the registrar, and that is fixed, and once everything gets paid off, then we will revote to fix the chair. Yeah. And we weren't aware of that until Monday, because we didn't have an intention of putting it off all Monday.
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you.
My name is Tatum Benjamin, Tatunbenjamin, and I just wanted to say that I'm new to dance, and without Prowlers, I wouldn't have the opportunity to dance. And the first time I ever danced was on our first practice, so it's really important to me to be able to come out here and be a part of this club and like learn something new. And I have to say that like the atmosphere is completely different than anything I've ever been a part of. And I have played sports all my life, and it's just very opening, accepting, and they're very wonderful at teaching everyone new things. And especially with me, because I obviously don't know how to dance and how to do all the techniques. And they're very wonderful at teaching me that and very understanding about it. So that's really important. And so it's a different, he's getting overlooked maybe, and like how this is for everyone, it really is for everyone. And I've never been like looked down upon because I'm not good at dance, I guess you would say. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Any questions? Senator Johnson?
Do the ex-beta members teach you and whoever else is in that dance group or your other dancers to teach?
Yes, they do because they obviously know technique, but we have had other people have come in and helped us with practice and show us different things.
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Okay, so I'm totally changing the dynamic of it. I'm here to thank everyone who showed up to the event on Saturday. I really wish all of you could have been here at this event to realize the powerful message that these speakers brought. This is a $500 event, plus food costs, plus a lot of stuff. The gear that we got was pretty expensive, so these speakers were Joe Negron from Cold Peak, and then April Hernandez, who played Eva off the Freedom Riders. These guys are amazing. It's something that was worked really hard, and the people who were there, they felt the impact of this, and these high school students, their lives have like completely changed, and we've been hearing a lot of positive things about this. So I really want to thank those of you who showed up to the service project. I know other people had stuff to do, so I totally understand that, but I really want to thank those of you who showed up and those of you who were at the event and got a powerful message from this event. So I really want to thank you guys for being there and supporting that. So I don't think I could ever describe how much that really means. And then also my department is having Boo Bash. I know we've mentioned it a lot. It is Friday, so just make sure you guys let your closing organizations know. So please just be there. It's going to be a really fun event. My director gets amazing prizes for this, so you could possibly win. We give away each year about a $100 earphone, some pretty cool gift cards to places around campus. So just please show up to that, take a friend or two, win some cool stuff. So thank you. I'm just walking away the way.
Hi, I'm Mariana. M-A-R-I-A-N-A. I want to talk about diversity. It's been said a lot about diversity, and then this club got me inside of it, and another girl that has mental disabilities.
I'm from Brazil, and I joined the club, and I'm just an exchange student. I'm just going to be here for a year. And they mattered to me so much that I'm here right now, fighting for them, so they can carry it on. And I thought I would be here with dance here, because I've only stayed for a year, and I didn't know much about the university and how things went here. So I found them, and I danced all my life, and I stopped dancing for about 3 years, and I got injured, and now I'm going back to dance, and they're helping me get back to shape, and they're so supportive all the time, and they understand that some people can reach like the levels that others do, and they try to get the best out of every one of us, and they don't force you to go further if you don't want to. You can try as long as you want to, you can come whenever you want to, and you're always welcome. And we're so united that we have a group in the chat, and we talked about what we wanted to do with the club, and I'm sorry. That's it, I'm sorry.
Any questions? Can you spell your last name, please?
Oh, that's hard. Maisonnette.
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Do we have anyone else who would like to approach from the gallery?
My name is Ashlyn, Ashlin. So as of right now, I am vice president of the Prowlers Club, and I am not an ex-people dancer. I have danced through every aspect of ISU I can possible. I've been part of swing dance club. I have been part of dance on. I've danced in every single dance performance of the Center, and I've explored every avenue of dance here at ISU. And I think that this club is definitely different and would provide more competitive dance for ISU. Dance on takes on a more creative side that I enjoyed, but it was not entirely my personal thing. I enjoy creating dances, but not in that aspect. I respect them and I love their performances. They do great work. But I would like to compete and get feedback on our dancing and form that group unit and take it to another place that's like a mix of dance on and bangle dancers. But no.
Any questions? Senator Thompson?
First off, I absolutely love the idea of values. I'm concerned that I see how much you're going to answer this. But I just have this thought that you've seen like 5 years now when the Expo Avengers, you graduated. Do you think that this club will be the same as it is now, the same goals, the same aspirations, the same wanting to compete? Or do you see it going downhill unless there's that drive, that fire in you? Like you said, you explored every avenue. How many of you out there have explored every avenue that want this competitive side? Do you see that being ongoing, or do you see this ending in the next 10 years or 5 years?
I can see it taking off. Competitive dance is not to say a popular thing right now, but it is it's a large part of dance culture right now. So we do have a lot of girls coming into college looking for that competitive aspect. And bangle dancers might be too competitive for them. It might be too big time commitment, too expensive. There's many factors
competing in that, and then they also might go dance on sometimes. It's a little not their style, they're not, they don't feel comfortable creating in that aspect, and they would rather just work on their technique and improve like they did in high school, for instance, with a similar, kind of good. So I can take taking off. Like right now, we have girls from a few avenues that can have a straight ballet dancer. I myself dance straight ballet. I do modern and competitive dance. We in the aspects we want to compete in, can all dancers fit into one of them?
Senator Berry?
So you were done dancing, correct? Did you guys perform, and then when you did perform, did you get feedback on them?
I did not end up performing with them. There was some conflicts there, but I was a part of the club for a few years.
And they did receive feedback on their performances?
I'm not sure on that, because like I said, I didn't compete, so I wasn't with them afterwards.
Senator Price? As vice president for this club, don't you think that your members should be informed about the Constitution and if you are or are not competing and what the goal plans are? Because as members come to us and we ask questions, they really don't know what the aspects of that they are getting into and what they are getting into, and that they can leave the group and they have their 12 members that we need to be in.
Yes, for sure. It's taking time to get it approved, so we're mostly waiting for that. We just explained the bare basics to them, and it's been changing a little bit through this process. So I guess we're waiting for approval to hear what we for sure need to do. We just approved
Senator Hornsby?
One of my predominant concerns at this point is how do you plan over a long term to improve the techniques of your more advanced dancers? You said you've had a few people come and help you, but I don't think having guest appearances for teachers for so long is going to be sustainable. And if your best member is a teacher and your less experienced members, how are they supposed to?
Well, I don't like to use the word better dancers, but more experienced dancers. They all actually seek opportunities to improve themselves outside of the club. A couple of them, and actually the whole team are going to a talk workshop next month. So through that, and then always learning to improve themselves as well as the team. We also can get taught that.
Great, thank you.
Senator Ortiz?
Just to clarify, you said you guys wanted to be a competitive team, correct? Yeah. But, you previously said when you did other members of the business that you guys come and go and go to practice whenever you guys want to. So I'm just confused if you guys want something more laid back. Well, just dance whatever and have fun, or if you guys want to go competitive. Well, once you're approved, since we haven't been official, no one's really been tied to anything, but we have had consistency. The only people that have missed have had actual reasons not to be there. And it is a club, so I guess it's not a team, so not required to be there. But it is expected of them. They want to.
Any further questions? Senator Branham?
So you said one of the things you like about the Prowlers is it will give you opportunities to have these like competition, and others said that they don't plan on having competition. So is one of the focuses of the Prowlers going to be to compete?
Was that a question? Oh, okay. Not looking. Senator Price, with the views of the restrictions that were given tonight, do you view them as acceptable, or what is your opinion on the restrictions to or competition?
The restrictions suggested.
Yes.
Some of them, with the funding, we have laid out each month, every couple of weeks, fundraisers we would like to do to reach our goal, with a certain amount for each student, so that we can compete. We, don't plan on taking anything away from anyone else. And then other restrictions, well, we are a club, we are not representing ISU, we're representing ASISU. So I think those are not the restrictions.
Senator Hollister.
What do you think about the restriction that was proposed of not being able to compete in any events and things like that?
I personally think that it's still possible to have other opportunities. In fact, if we have other opportunities, there might be more experience and opportunities for other members of the club. We've explored different avenues of competition, where we can enter team, trios, duets, and that would match different skill levels. So we have explored those options.
Just say follow.
Hey, now I have a question. The question was, do you want to compete in the same, or another question is, do you want to compete in the same events as bingo dancers? Competition.
Competition? Yes. It's rules that we're able to.
Senator Berry.
So when you guys do go to compete, how are you gonna like select members of your club that go to compete as to like avoid animosity within your team or club? Because some of you are more experienced dancers.
Well, we are going to have full auditions for that, but all of our dancers have different strengths, so within the categories, we would be able to fit most of our dancers in those categories. We'll just have to do.
Senator Price. This is a follow-up question. You stated that you had a finance plan for the next semester. What is the finance plan you have monthly?
We have it laid out monthly. There's just different fundraisers. They're all funded. We have it together.
You will present it. Senator Weinstein.
This point kind of builds upon something Senator Price said earlier, but I also find it relatively concerning that we've had such mixed responses about your desires to be competitive amongst members, even though they're on this experiences versus that's been one of the major points of controversy, right? If the members aren't really thinking about it, it seems disorganized. So am I misunderstanding? I guess I don't know if I'm misunderstanding what your plans are for competitive dancing with your members, or are those just some of the members who joined who had no intentions of ever being competitive, and that's why the answers are varied?
We aren't sure why the answers are varied. We've been competitive from the start. Right now, we haven't had anything like issue, so we haven't been doing the week and group process at our practices. So maybe that's where the confusion has come in. We haven't mentioned it in a while. That's okay.
Senator Johnson.
I understand how it is to start a new club, like as you start a new club. Especially if you have a new country constitution. So I don't even see the competition part as the biggest issue. The biggest issue I see is fundraising. The bigger thing is fundraising. The same with that community fundraising. I'm part of 7 clubs. You can also raise the students for this community, just like everybody else does. And there's only a limited amount of resources available. So do you see that being an issue with their side of fundraising as opposed to you guys trying to fundraise? Do you give it to your plans of how you guys can fundraise, you can fundraise, and whoever is able to attend, then I'm going to do it. I'm not sure if you're going to make it. Like I said, it's all fundraising to the same. Unless you guys have outside resources. So you can it's fun.
I guess it goes along with, yeah. And, so we have a lot of creative, like, community events where we raise money and events on campus. We're not going out to the community and extracting. We have events that will hold for that. And there's a little bit of that, but not.
Senator here.
I see that. So yes.
We don't need to necessarily, but we are a club, so. But we don't need money or like.
My news really.
Any further questions? Senator Ortiz?
Do you think prowlers would be against legal dancers who have conflict between you guys? I don't think so. Legal dancers probably
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you. Would anyone else like to approach the gallery?
Hi, my name is Katie Greenwell, HAYLEYGRENWELL. First off, I'd like to say that I am also an ex-Bagel Dancer, I guess you could say, Bagel Dancer alumni. I was on the team for 2 years. And I do believe that a lot of the concerns they have are legitimate, and if I were on the other side of it, I would definitely think that they're real. But we also, being a part of it, have thought about those and are not wanting to step on those boundaries. We are trying to be a club, we're not trying to be a team. We took a long time to get a fundraiser scheduled that we didn't feel like would conflict with the Bagel Dancers. We also are not trying to go to games, we're not trying to perform at those types of things that have been Bagel Dancers forever and will forever be what the Bagel Dancers do. So we're not trying to step on any toes there or take over anything they're trying to do. I think the Bagel Dancers are an amazing team and a legacy, like they said, and they should remain that way. I also am a member of the National Dance Alliance staff, and this year they have created some new rules for the competition. So there are 4 different divisions that you can, or 4 different categories that each division can compete in. There's a jazz category, or an open category, a hip hop category, a pom category, and a team category. And each team that goes to the competition is only allowed to compete in 2 divisions. So that leaves 2 other divisions that Idaho State will not be competing in. So even if we do go to the same competition in the same city, we don't have to compete head-to-head against the Bagel Dancers. That's what we like about NBA, is that we feel like there's room for everybody without us having to step on each other's toes, and we can explore a different type of dance than what the Bagel Dancers want to do. I think the biggest confusion within the team has just been most of our members we had a booth at the involvement fair, and at that time we just kind of told them what we were about and that we wanted to dance, and that if they wanted to compete, we would have auditions later on, but not everybody that comes to us is required to do that. So there's that, and I know that this whole thing has been held up, and that's entirely my fault. Like she said, I had an issue with the loan. So if you're going to punish anybody for that, please don't punish them. I will take that entirely on myself. And if I need to step completely away from this in order for them to be able to build it up because I made a mistake, I'm completely willing to do that. I believe in this team and I believe in dance, and I truly think that it's made a difference into people's lives. And most of the girls or boys on the team aren't ex-Bengal dancers. Over 75% are brand new freshmen and people that have come to the university and just want to dance. And being able to have been at a nationals competition, it's an experience that is unlike anything I have ever done. And I just want to be able to give that experience to somebody else. And I don't see the harm in giving that to somebody if we don't have to go against the Bengal dancers. And everybody can have that right and have that joy and be able to grow individually as well as have that team unit and that home that they can call here at ISU. And like Brandy said, have that unity and that team that they can go to for support and anything else that they need throughout the year, whether it's not just dance, but a friendship and just a place where they can feel like they belong. So.
Senator Berry?
So before, when you had all the holdups and everything, it listed you as the president of the Prowlers Club. So what is your role in the club now?
Right now I'm not on the team roster because I'm trying to pay off my tuition. But at this time, I'm more than willing to go in and help with practice. Like I said, we're always open to anybody going in. So this time I'm not leading president, that's Scout Paul. But whatever she needed me to do, I would do, but I'm not in charge.
Senator Price? One of the members stated that if you did get your ducks in a row and figured out the financial situation, that they would reconsider vote. Would you end up being president if it's like given that position?
If that's what the team wanted, then I think it would have to be a really big conversation. Like I said, in our constitution, it lays out the removal and everything of officers. So if that's what the whole team wanted, then I would be willing to do that. But if they didn't, then I would just step in and not try and go back. I wouldn't want to do something that the team was against, if that makes sense.
Senator Worley?
So as you can see by all the questions that we're asking, everybody that comes up, we do want to make an informed decision. And I'm not trying to nitpick your words here, I'm looking for a definition or clarification. You mentioned that you do not want to be a team, you want to be a club. I know that you keep calling it a team, that could just be.
I'm so sorry, yeah.
Like it's been mentioned before. I just want to know, what do you define as a team and how do you define yourself as being a club? What's the difference?
I would define the Bengal dancers as the, I guess, official dance team of the university. They go to all the games. They're kind of the face of ISU, right? When you think of a dance team, you think of the girls that are on the side of the football game or the basketball game and sideline dances. Does that make sense? And they're the ones that will be represented as the Idaho State University Bengal dancers when they go to NDA and USA, which I think is great. But us as a club, I think we more can focus on building up our technique. Because as a past Bengal dancer, a lot of the time during the fall, we don't have time to do a lot of technique in practice because you have to get this dance ready for this game, and you have to get this performance ready for this. And so you're busy. It's a full-time job being on that team. But with the club, it's definitely less of a time commitment. And you have more time. We can go in and we do technique for a full 2 hours where we wouldn't have time to do that before. And I think we can focus on having less performances like the Bengal dancers do and just build up individually and be able to grow as a team.
Senator Hornsby.
So obviously not all of your vendors want to be competitive, but at least to me, it appears that you're essentially trying to be a team other than being a club. Even if all of your members aren't planning to compete, that's still like a club having a team within it for people to compete. And even if it's not within the same competitions as the Bengals dancers, do you think that dividedness and competitions would make ISU itself compete having two separate teams, especially with controversy considering the startup of your club?
Personally, I think it makes the university look stronger and that they have more dancers. For example, Stephen F. Austin University in Texas, since the start of this new division, they have decided that they're going to make 2 teams and they're going to win all 4 and make their university the winner of all 4 divisions. So if the Bengal Dancers go and they win in 2 divisions, and then we go in a separate division and we do really well, I just think that makes Idaho State look even better. And that we have some really good talent here, and I'd say that looks pretty good for Idaho especially.
Any further questions? Senator Brown?
So you did say that with NDA, there are the 4 different categories. So would you guys know beforehand who was competing in which one, so you would not be competing in the same ones between the Bengal Dancers and the Prowlers?
Yeah, the Bengal Dancers have always competed in the same 2, but I think that a conversation would have to be had with their coach just to make sure they're not switching, and then to specify to make sure we're not going with the same one. But I think a simple conversation can fix that, just to kind of double check and make sure we're kind of on the same page.
Any further questions? Senator Hollister?
Something that's been mentioned twice is that the club would not be Idaho State University Baseball Prowlers forever when announcing their competitions. What would they be announced as?
Prowlers Dance Club.
And that's it. Follow up that.
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you. Senator Hornsby?
I feel that quite an extraordinary amount of information is exchanged between the colleagues and since for the 5 minutes.
Second.
It's been moved by Senator Hornsby to move for a 5-minute recess, seconded by Senator Worley.
Yeah.
Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, we'll move for a 5-minute recess and we adjourn at 8:30. Okay, the gallery is still open, so if anyone would like to approach, please do so now.
Casey Jones, K-A-Y-C-E-J-O-N-E-S. And tell you a little bit about me. I was one of the Bengal dancers in 1999, and that's what that was, so don't add numbers up. But that was the first year we broke into the top 10. And it was not our first year as a competitive team, but my freshman year was the first year we broke into the top 10. And since then, we've stayed with it. I was on the team for 3 years, captain 2 years. Then my coach, the former coach, Hillary Johnson, brought me on to be a coach with her for another 3 years. And during that time, we broke into the top 5 and top 3 in the nation. Then I moved to California to get my master's, and I continue to coach competitive collegiate teams, national champion competitive collegiate teams. 2 of my dancers from Fullerton came to Idaho State and were part of the Idaho State national champion competitive team. I consulted with Hillary while she was still here, and I still consult with the current coach. So I have a lot of experience as far as Bengal dancers. I'm also here not just as me. I am here representing dozens and dozens and dozens of alumni. This is something that is just very precious to us, to preserve what we have put blood, sweat, and tears into. And what you have behind you is just a small representation of the entire community of Pocatello. You've got Century Heights, Highland, Koki High's dance team coaches, as well as the head president of the Idaho Dance Coaches Association. And we're all here because we want to make sure you guys know the full story. We want to make sure that you understand that, you know, to have 2 competitive teams will hurt and will be a conflict for the Bengal dancers, flat out. And we want to make sure that we are heard as far as we have no problem with them being disgruntled dancers and wanting to start their own. We love, again, we are supporters of people dancing. We want everyone to dance. There is nothing wrong with that, and that's one of the wonderful things about Dance On. And we've always had a wonderful relationship with Dance On because, you know, they are, that's where you go if you don't want to be a competitive dance team. They have all genres, all styles, several different teachers and choreographers that are coming and teaching for Dance On. And so, you know, it's just, I don't know if you guys are as confused as we are. We don't quite understand how they are different from either Dance On or the Bengal Dancers. You know, it's since the inception of this, it's been a song and dance of what their true purpose is and who's in charge and why they're doing what they're doing. And you can find it all, you know, the trail of it from the beginning of the summer through their social media and their petitions and you know, angry parents. So for them to say they have nothing against Bengal dancers, it's not true. But, you know, neither here nor there, people who are disgruntled often, that's how we get new clubs, and that's fine. Competitive, healthy, no problem with that. But to say that they want to, you know, half of them are saying, we want to just be able to dance. Dance On provides that. And it's a wonderful organization currently. And we have even some of our alumni that are helped with Dance On currently. We've never had any strikes with Dance On. We support each other in several different things. We really perform at their individual recitals. And then on the other end of, you know, if and when they do decide to compete, if they don't want to have any strife with Bengal dancers, if they don't want to, you know, have any conflict, why are they trying to go to, we go to 2 competitions. Why are they trying to go to one of the 2 competitions that we currently go to when there are several other competitive competitions that they can go to. What I think that has not been mentioned that's just a little disheartening for the Bengal dancers is, all of us, we did this program and we graduated from this program with a coach. We actually, her name was Hillary, but her nickname was Hillary. It was tough. And I personally worked 5 jobs. I, had full credits. My last year when I was coaching, I had 3 other teams I was coaching. I was also coaching the cheerleading squad that year, and I had 18 credits. There's not one person on this team. We have people that have been married on this team. We have people who, have to work so hard. I was completely on my own when I turned 18. Nothing, no help from parents. And I did Bengal dancers while working and being able to succeed and graduate. I went on and got my master's in kinesiology. Like, I have a dance company now. Like, I understand how hard it is, and every one of us do, and that's the thing that we did represent Idaho State at every single game proudly. And then we put in that extra time to be a competitive squad that is, I know that it's foreign for most of you, but we're competing against schools that are 2 to 5 times our size, and we are competitive. And we are from a tiny, small town that doesn't even have a full dance team. They recently have something similar, which is exciting, and we hope to build upon that. But when I was there, you could only minor in Idaho State. And, so for us to build what we have, it's blood, sweat, and tears. And you're working so hard to be able to represent Idaho State at the games and cheer for your teams and support that. And what you've got to recognize is that the National Dance Alliance, Universal Dance Association, and the United Spirit Association, these are all under one umbrella company called Varsity. And the purpose of these teams are, these specific competitions are collegiate competitive competitions for the teams who are representing their school at athletic events, and then are also putting in that time to be competitive. There are other competitive teams under USA, UDA, and NDA. There's other competitions, I should say, called All-Star competitions. And those competitions are for clubs. And, people that go to it are not even necessarily affiliated with a club from a university. They can just be from a town or a studio, and they're older dancers that want to be able to continue to compete at an elite level. And those exist, and they're phenomenal, like competitive competitions. So where I'm confused on is if they want to be different, and you guys know in your own clause 4 purpose that there is no student organization will be granted registration status if you guys determine that its purpose and or functions duplicate those of already existing registered status of the Office of Student Organization. Like, that's the biggest thing is right now, what they're trying to do overlaps and literally duplicates either dance-on or Bengal dancers. And I understand not everybody can hang with, the amount of time commitment that goes into Bengal dancers, but it's also, that's in any really highly competitive environment. And if they want to have a competitive team separate, awesome. Just don't go to the same one as we do, because that alone is showing that they're trying to do something. Now, one thing I want to point out that was brought up is that, yeah, NBA has different divisions this year, right? And Stephen F. Austin has different teams. What was failed to be mentioned is that they're all under the same coach. They're all under the same umbrella. Stephen F. Austin has always had Jack Attack, which is a phenomenal hip-hop team, and they have their Palm Squad. Well, if they're dividing themselves up, they're dividing themselves up to be still representing Stephen F. Austin as one unit. And they also, you want to look up how large Stephen F. Austin is. They have enough recruitment to be able to handle that. We don't. Even the years that we came off of national championships, we still have never had more than 38 dancers show up for tryout. And you've got to understand that just down the road, we've got Weber State, UVU, BYU, Boise State that we're competing against for recruiting as is. And so is dance on. Like, we're already dividing ourselves up, and we're already going against, Weaver is a nationally ranked team. UVU is the current national champion. BYU is the current national champions in their division. Boise State, we go back and forth with them. Last year we beat them in hip hop, they beat us in jazz. But, you know, we already are dealing with recruiting issues, not to mention the financial and being able to fundraise. You have no idea how hard these single dancers work to fundraise what they have. I mean, ASISU is amazing in what they're able to give these girls and help and support them. But it's not even comparison to what they have to fundraise and how hard they work in order to be able to compete and stay at the level that we've worked so hard to build. And they've already had this summer, as they were going and trying to collect sponsors, they had people say, now wait, are you the other dance team, or who's the real dance team? What's going on? We've already had community members confused. And so that's where, you know, there's just a lot of red flags. And again, what I want you to understand is, as Single Dancer alumni representation, we're not saying they can't dance, but we're saying that there is a room for them to dance possibly within Dance On. I know that Dance On, they are very open and love dance. They could be incorporated in with Dance On and be able to go compete. But again, why compete where you're already sanctioned Idaho State team, who is nationally ranked in the top 3? Why would you allow that to have another team come and in any way muddy those waters? And it just doesn't make any sense to double that funding for that. So, yeah, ask me any questions you have.
Senator Hornsby.
You spoke about issues with recruiting and competition, but wouldn't it be safe to assume that any highly competitive dancers who become guys who would know that dancers is the major team to join as a path anyway? So I wouldn't imagine that you would be losing your more competitive dancers to a group that is half centered on people just doing what they want. You see what I mean? I feel like more competitive dancers are still going to go to you, whereas people who aren't as serious about competing are just going to go to this new in-between club. So I don't feel like that would affect your recruitment for serious dancers as it is already, especially if ISU has the capabilities. Now, when you speak up, one of your clear competitive dancers is obviously the highly competitive team to join. And additionally, Dance On doesn't, from what we've heard, seem to overlap entirely with their desires, whereas Dance On's focuses are kind of decided by the club. It sounds like the focuses of the members within Prowlers would be their own desired focuses. So for people who want to engage in a hobby but don't want to have to compete, but don't want to have the stress of doing exactly what the club wants, but having that free room to be able to do what you want with guidance. So I don't know, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, so for one, with the recruitment, I would love to say that it won't affect us. But the bottom line is that we're dealing with college-age female athletes that during the year of being non-legal dancers are pushed to the limit. I mean, it's a very large commitment, as it is to be any student athlete. And so it's very easy to say, well, I don't want the time commitment, but I still want to compete. And so that's where it could hurt us in effect of them, some dancers wanting to go on and just be able to compete and not have to worry about all the extra stuff that would go with it, to be able to get the scholarship and wear the ringo dancing.
As we would have theoretically seen last year.
Exactly. And then,
Senator Hornsby, just a reminder that this is a questioning period, and you do need to ask for both follow-up and also remember that you're speaking in form of question.
Sorry. And then, what was the second part of your question? I'm sorry. Dance On. You know, and I would honestly, I would love for you guys to speak with a representation, like a leader in Dance On, to really understand, you know, what they are willing to do. Because what I'm confused on is what I know of Dance On from, you know, who I know that was leading Dance On when I was here. they're a very open club, and, they're very accepting of many styles of dance. And you see that in their recital, when you go watch their recital, they don't just do modern. So, I would say definitely it would be great for you guys to be able to have a leader of dance on be able to address you and truly give you that, because I can't speak for dance on, I just can speak from my experience when I've worked with them.
Okay, thank you.
Senator Call.
You mentioned other dance competition other than NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind saying those competitions?
Yeah, so we have in the collegiate competitive world, or I should say, period, in a dance team competitive world, as far as dance team being associated with some sort of an athletic team, there's this company called Varsity, and they're a big umbrella, and under Varsity, they have 3 venues and 3 different competitions. Now, these competitions run children competitions, all-star competitions, they run cheerleading competitions, they run high school competitions. In fact, one of our Bagel Dancer alumni for high school goes to USA and NBA high school nationals, and they're nationally ranked there. So they run several competitions throughout the entire country. But for each of those individual venues, they also have all-star competitions. All-star competitions are for clubs like Prowlers. They're for clubs and teams that are not necessarily associated with the school in that way, officially sanctioned school, or not people that are actually on the sideline every weekend and then also competing. I mean, it's really neat to see when we go to USA competition in California, and it's our first competition of the year. It's earlier in the season. It's always right during March Madness. Every year, there are several teams that have to come and they fly in the day of finals. There's 2 days of competition, preliminaries and finals. They fly in the day of finals, compete in the morning, their first preliminary, then they have to compete again on the same day finals because they were at March Madness the night before with their team. And that's what these competitions are about, is those types of teams. Now, All-Stars are phenomenally, I mean, I can't even, that's not a word, but they're fantastic competitions with a lot of competitive teams. And, so I think that we would have no objection if there was a restriction placed where just don't go to the same places that we are. Because there's just no reason, because there are other options for you.
Senator Worley.
Okay, so this question may need a little bit of information going to you, so I want to spell something out. So you have brought up many different points that I do find are important about the differences of why we should have this club be allowed to be a club while we have the Bengal dancers. So barring the fact that you do have to do some sort of fundraising, I don't want you to think about at that point for this question, and barring the fact for recruitment, because if somebody's going to leave Bengal dancers or dance on and they decide to join this club, they may have ended up just leaving those organizations anyway without this club being here. The question is, you mentioned as an article in basically our rules for if we have a club be active, we will not allow any organization to be given active status if it performs the same function as another group that is already there. So in your personal opinion, do you feel that if the Prowlers are given the restriction that their competitions are limited to only all-star, so any competition is basically for clubs, but not for a school team specifically, are they treading on anybody's toes, or how do you see that they may be performing a function of any organization who's already here?
That's a good question. The pure nature of it, if you were to just break it down and not even talk about which competition they're going to, the pure nature of a competitive dance club is overlapping with what Bengal dancers are. And so that alone is just the most basic, perception. But what we are also aware of is that, for one, it's very rare for a club to be behind status. I don't know if that's ever even happened. So what we're here to say is while we don't necessarily agree that it even should be allowed, because we do see it as overlapping with dance-on and bingo dancers, if it was to be allowed, this is what we would, appreciate as, representation and alumni, and the support that ISU has given bingo dancers for so many years. This is what we would ask for in order to preserve what we built.
Quick announcement, you have about 4 more minutes for this gallery item. Just so everyone is aware that we will only be hearing from her for another 4 minutes. Senator Willie.
In your most concise terms, could you just kind of say, as the Bengal Dancers alumni organization, what are you guys expecting? Sort of like, as how are we limiting this club, or in any way, shape, or form, just short and sweet stuff? So like, if we don't allow this club to go to competitions that Bengal Dancers go to, or how are we restricting them from going to those specific competitions? What do you expect to see that this club is allowed to do versus not allowed to do? In the shortest terms.
What we would like is for them to not be able to go to the competitions that we go to. And that's the shortest terms.
Senator Hollister.
What would you state as the purpose of Dance On?
The purpose of Dance On is for the love of dance. It is the art of dance, and they're not competitive, and they are from a more artistic take, but like I said, they explore all genres of dance. And they accept everyone as well. You're not going to deny.
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Casey.
Oh,
I don't know if you're sorry.
Thank you, Casey.
Thanks, you guys.
Senator Conrado.
Second.
It has been moved by Senator Conrado and seconded by Senator Hollister to close the gallery. Objection roll call has been called by Senator Worley. Turn it over to Secretary Stevenson for the roll call.
Senator Barral. Senator Berry.
No.
Senator Branham. Senator Hollister.
Yes.
Senator DePaul.
No.
Senator Dominguez.
No.
Senator Conrado.
Yes.
Senator Hornsby.
No.
Senator Hurtado. No. Senator Griswold. Senator Johnson.
No.
Senator Shipley. Senator Muir.
Yes.
Senator Ortiz.
Yes.
Senator Price.
No.
Senator Rosales. Senator Sidley. Senator Withers.
Considering that I think we need to hear what's within their constitutions, and now that it's courtesy to Val, I vote yes, just so we can hear that information.
Senator Wood.
So real quick, the only reason that I bring up an objection is the fact that we have only heard from current Prowlers members and alumni Bengal dancers. I'm attempting to leave the gallery open in hopes that we actually have any current Bengal Prowlers to give a message out. Because, Bengal dancers, apologies. We want to hear from everybody. We want to give everybody a chance to have a voice. We don't want to give just the Prowlers a voice. We want to give just the dancers a voice. So if there's anybody out there, I ask that you do step forward. And if there's not, then we would appreciate it. We can move on.
They weren't allowed to be here tonight, and they're currently at a performance right now as we speak.
Okay.
But I know that they would, if they were allowed to, they would. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry, in order for you to address the Senate body, someone will have to yield you their time. And we're actually in a roll call, so that's out of order.
So
The motion passes, gallery is closed. We will now move on to announcements and correspondence. First on the agenda is Val David with the Student Organizations Coordinator.
Evening. I just want to tell you, I'm really excited about homecoming week, and I hope you guys are too. And tomorrow is a film party at 2 o'clock, so please join us. Please wear something appropriate, not skimpy appropriate, but just something. And it will be in the campus rec, in the inside tennis court. There'll be music and beach balls and fun. And then also you'll be getting an email, hopefully, from Heidi Oliver. She is the homecoming parade chair, and she is in desperate need of students or anybody's help with the parade. It's a fun time. So if you have some time Saturday morning, I know it's really early, maybe 6:30ish, please let her know. Bring your friend, hot chocolate, everything will be there, and donuts. Okay, tonight I have Katrina, that we just met, and she's wonderful. And they have changed they have updated their constitution. It was the Japanese club, and they have changed it to the Japan club. And I'm going to turn the time over to Katrina and have her this way they've done it.
All right, as she said, my name is Katrina Savek. It's KATRINASBEC. We just recently changed our club name from the Japanese club to the ISU Japan club. We did that in order to have a fresh start, because last year our club was kind of dwindling and falling under the water and stuff. So this year we hope to have a new start. We did a whole bunch of stuff to try to promote our club. We changed the name in hopes that it would promote it. It would better imply that it was for everybody and not just for the Japanese people, that it was about the culture and the country as well as the language, and not just the Japanese language. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Any questions on the floor? Senator Hollister.
I move to approve the Japan Club name change
It is moved by Senator Hollister, seconded by Senator Hornsby to approve the constitution and name change for the Japan Club. Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, motion passes.
Thank you.
The second club is a brand new club, and I'm really excited. This is a national club. It is an honor society. It is Sigma Tau Delta, which resides with the English department. And so I'm going to turn the time over to Price, and he's going to tell you some of the purposes and the rest that they have planned with Sigma Tau Delta.
I'm Price Worrell, that's PRICEWORRELL. I have a prepared statement which I have a copy for the Secretary. Sigma Tau Delta International English Honor Society was founded in 1924. Our society, with over 875 chapters worldwide, excuse me, I've been sitting for a while, my throat is dry, adheres stringently to its mission. We strive to confer distinction for high achievement in English language and literature in undergraduate, graduate, and professional studies. We also provide, through our local chapters, cultural stimulation on college campuses and promote interest in literature and English language in surrounding communities. We foster all aspects of the discipline of English, including literature, language, and writing, and promote exemplary character and good fellowship among our members, and exhibit high standards of academic excellence and serve society by fostering literacy. The Society is also the proud sponsor of the National English Honor Society, which serves students and faculty in high schools throughout the country and provides an outreach to thousands of students and faculty who share a commitment to excellence in English arts. Currently, this local chapter is developing long-range plans to start National English Honor Society chapters in the local high schools. This will serve to not only promote English in general, but will benefit Idaho State University directly by developing mentoring relationships with local high school students. These relationships will put a real face to our university, and as a result, will increase enrollment rates of local students at a time when student enrollments from the region that ISU serves are on decline. Also, our local chapter, in cooperation with the English Graduate Student Association, will be sponsoring and hosting the annual EXA Conference in spring, which has had attendees from all over the western United States. We are also currently working with the Marshall Public Library to develop existing adult literacy programs to benefit the Pocatello Chubbuck community as a whole. It is the hopes of our society to affiliate with the Associated Students of ISU towards our common goals of serving the students of Idaho State University and the broader community. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Senator Warren.
So I just have a question about what you guys expect to do as a club. I just want to clarify, you guys do have plans to not only better yourselves as literature, well, say, people who do enjoy to write, I apologize, that's derogatory. And you also are going to attempt to initiate programs of also tutoring students in high schools.
Sort of. Excuse me. Tutoring would be one aspect. Another aspect would be to develop the actual National English Honor Society, which is like the United States Standard English Honor Society in all high schools. So it would not only be tutoring, but it would be mentoring and developing them not only in literature, but also in the language arts, including writing, linguistics, literature, composition, etc.
Any further questions? Senator Hollister.
I move to approve Sigma Tau.
It has been moved to approve Sigma Tau Delta by Senator Hollister, seconded by Senator Withers. Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, you are approved.
Thank you.
Okay, the last club that I'm presenting tonight, we've had much discussion on it, is the Prowlers Dance Club. And I've got Scout, Paul here, and Ashlyn Lee, and I'm going to turn the time over to them. I think we've heard a lot about some of their purposes, and so if anything they would like to add to their purposes, I'm going to turn it over. Just to let you know, when I did do their constitution, they originally did have teams. They went through their constitution and they did change everything to dance club. They have on their registration, they brought in current registration. We have verified everyone on the their executive board, and their members are current students. So that was brought into our office, and so they do have the current registration. Their advisor is a full-time staff member. So they do have that all into place, and I will turn the time over to Scout and Ashley.
Hi, I'm Scout Paul. Thanks so much for having us tonight. It's long and varying, but bear with us through all. And everybody's kind of gone through the emotional part of this whole thing. And what we're really gonna focus on now is like the facts. We're gonna go through our purpose a little bit and discuss those things with you guys, and then we have like further discussions, and then I'll hand out some fundraising papers and also some National Dance Alliance goals.
Our first purpose is to encourage diversity of thought through an empowered, student-led, competitive dance circuit.
Number 2 is to represent Prowler's Dance Club at collegiate national competition. We really chose NBA because first off, UVA is in January, and that's through all this process that wasn't going to give us any time to be able to fundraise, to be able to go. USA is also where Bengal Dancers go, and we cannot go to that one because they can only allow one team to go. And then we chose NBA because they do allow 2 teams. I've just discussed things with the NBA leader, and she said that there are allowed 2 teams, and I'll hand this out because I think that you can get it. And you can compete in the same division if you wanted to, but we're not looking to do that. Or not division, category. Possible same division, or we can also move up a division, which means we would be competing with bigger schools, but if that's what we would have to do in order to compete at a collegiate national level, that's what we would do. Because the reason we want to compete at collegiate and not something like all-star is because we are in college, and we feel like we're on the same level as a collegiate team. That's really what we're looking to do. And so I'm going to hand this out, and she can.
Okay. Number 3 comes from under the general safety guidelines and code of conduct of the National Dance Alliance, as updated every year. We chose that based on our knowledge of National Dance Alliance already. We have multiple staff members. They've gone there before, so we figured those are general guidelines to follow. To practice and perform in such a way that strengthens a bond, improves technical dance fundamentals with members, teaches the value of working together towards a common goal, improves student involvement, and creates
Number 5, to promote competitive dance across Idaho State University and community through involvement in a variety of student activities and support of fellow student organizations. And then the next one is going to talk about sponsoring and fundraising, and I also have all that information set out. So our treasurer is actually not here right now, and she wrote up this whole, she did an awesome fundraiser setup. None of them are things that Bengal Dancers do. A lot of them are going to be actually student activities that we're looking to do. Hopefully we can get that approved if we get approved. And we really just want to bring the students' involvement in order to actually have money raised for us. That's really what we're looking to do is work with the students, have it be a more fun and positive environment. And then on this, it says that we are planning to fundraise for 2 routines, which is updated since then. We're actually hoping only to take 1 routine to nationals. So that'll be different. Don't pay attention to that on here.
Number 7. Represent Prowler's Dance Club with integrity and positivity at all times to improve the positive reputation. And number 8, to work with IHP students, staff, and organizations in order to affirm the goals of Idaho State University and the Associated Students of Idaho.
And that's all we're going to talk about for our purpose. And so now we're going to talk about kind of the nitty-gritty stuff that's kind of been happening with the conversation. I want to point out how we are different than Bengal Dancers. So first off, Bengal Dancers is not a club. You have to try out to be on the team. And it's sad to say, but if you are on if you are trying out for a collegiate level team, you can be judged based on your appearance, your weight, your height, you can be based off of anything, and also your talent. And with us, you can come, doesn't matter who you are, we have special needs person, we have foreign exchange students, we have males, we have and I understand Bengal Dancers have males too. But,
We are different. We are very diverse. Anybody can come to us. You don't have to be a dancer. We have a girl that's never danced in her life, and she's having fun in her life. And I think that's one of the most important differences between us and Bengal dancers. Like they said, we're not trying to step on any toes or go to games. With the whole restriction thing that they wanted to maybe do, we were asked, Bengal dancers did perform at the paint party. We were asked to perform as well. We accepted that invitation. It wasn't against any rules. We didn't clarify if it was an Idaho State University club at that point. We didn't say we were team or anything. We just said the local club is coming out, we're performing. And I feel like there shouldn't be that restriction at all because dance-on is also allowed to perform at the same thing as Bengal dancers, so I don't see why we wouldn't be able to get approved. We are student-run completely. We do have people come in every once in a while. We do have 2 Bengal dancer alumni. She was actually the assistant coach there for a while. We had Lindsay Tucker come in and help us. She was a Bengal dancer alumni, and we've also had Chelsea Kaminsky come in and she's a Bengal dancer alumni. And then also it's obviously there's enough participation in both entities, Bengal dancers, even though maybe there isn't the same amount of members showing up for auditions, they still have a full set team. And Dance-On has a club amount, they have an exact number to become a club. We have more than enough people to become our club. So if there's a demand for the participation in each one of these separate clubs, then obviously there's a different goal for everything.
With my experience with Dance-On and my friends with Dance-On, it's more of the creative aspect, in my opinion. They take the creative route. I love dance and I love creating myself, but we are completely separate from them in the sense that we want to do one dance and do it together. Dance-On kind of splits into different styles and does different dances, which is great. It's awesome. I love it. We can work with them. Dancers can do both to improve all aspects of their dance. But they focus more on the creativity, more than technique, I think. And they also do they're at their dance downstairs.
Oh, and I'm going to refer back to funding. So I know earlier stated it said that Bengal dancers would have an issue finding sponsors because of us, but our club hasn't gone out and seeked fundraising at all yet because we knew that was not, we couldn't do that until we're officially a club. So we haven't gone out and gone to any businesses. We haven't seen any sponsors from any businesses that would be competing with Bengal dancers. So I'm not quite sure why that happened, but hopefully that can be cleared up in the future. And then, I was going to talk about also, so there are multiple schools with multiple teams. Earlier was brought up with Stephen and Boston and the other ones that were brought up, but I'm going to talk about Texas Christian University. They do have an athletic team that compete, and they also are on the sidelines at games and everything, but they also have a club group, and that club group gets to go to nationals. They're not at the games, they're not on the sidelines at every single game, but they get to go to nationals and compete. So I just wanted to point that out for you guys. There is a demand for it. It's not only this little area that's trying to do that, it's everywhere. There's lots of, I have a whole list. Not all of these teams compete, but we have Stephen F. Austin, Texas Christian University, Utah State has more than one team, Louisiana State, UNLV, they have 3 dance teams that all perform at games. We have Memphis University, Florida State University, University of Kentucky, Auburn University, and Wright State University. So I just wanted to show you guys, this isn't some crazy thing that we're coming up with. There are multiple schools that are doing it. And then finally, I'm just gonna kind of talk about like one main thing that I see all over Idaho State University is discover opportunity. That's one of the main mottos of Idaho State University. It's all over our banners on campus, it's all over our website. And what we're doing is giving opportunity to people that can't do like Bengal dancers or who are just looking for like to actually be able to like, compete at a collegiate level, but they can't have that same time time commitment, sorry guys, time commitment that Bengal dancers require. Yes, I understand like people could see that as an easy way out, but we're pushing our dancers every day. We're not making it, we're not every day, every practice, we're not making it like some easygoing thing. So if people are trying to find an easy way out for like getting to compete at a collegiate level, then Prowlers isn't for them either, because we're going to be pushing our people, every member, so that they can actually compete and like, make a standing at the college nationals. That's all I kind of want to talk about. Open questions.
Senator Withers.
Thank you, Vice President. Now this question is directed towards you. So, if this club is approved, is there anything that as a governing body, like those restrictions can be in place, or are those things that the club would just have to agree to?
I would say, you guys as a Senate, I feel like my job was making sure that constitution and registration forms were completed, which the club did. You guys in approving and recognizing clubs, and I understand you can write bills. I know there's several clubs that have bills kind of sponsored for them. I would say that would be something you guys as a Senate can discuss. I would say that you're the ones recognizing the groups, you will be the ones funding the groups, so you guys can make the, whatever policies you guys see there.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Senator Hollister.
What if we were to put the restriction in that Bengal Prowlers could only perform in events where ISU Bengal dancers are present with the permission of Bengal dancers? Would you be all right?
That would be fine by us, probably. I mean, we have to discuss it, but
It should, we shouldn't, I feel like there's plenty of opportunities for different.
Senator Ortiz.
You said that you're planning on pushing your dancers, but one of your previous members said that they could come and go whenever they want to, and when you get your own practice, it's fine. So I'm just want to clarify it.
Yeah, no, I know. Okay, so we encourage, like, whenever somebody is in practice, they have to let us know. And, like, we're not, like, gonna discipline them because they weren't at practice, but whoever does show up at practice, we push them. And they, like, so far, everybody has grown. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, that girl that Tatum, she earlier came up, she's like an amazing dancer, and she's never danced in her life. And I'm in awe by how much she's caught on to everything because she takes everything we say in. Like, she pushes herself, we push her, and there's been like an end goal for that. Like, she's improved so much. So like, it just depends. Like, it sounds bad, but people that want to be pushed are going to show up, and it's okay if people don't want to come, but if they're going to come, then they know like what's expected of them that day.
As I mentioned before, we haven't been official yet, so we can't hold them to anything. So our practice so far has been.
Senator Berry.
I'm just kind of a little confused after reading your guys' constitution because I expect that you guys said you didn't want to step on anyone's toes. But with what you guys are seeing in there, it sounds like you want to compete at the NDA division where the Bengal dancers are. But then previously said you didn't want to step on their toes, so you're going to perform in the all-star divisions of that from previous members. So I'm just kind of confused as how you're gonna go to those competitions and compete, but not let stepping on their toes by still performing in the same bracket. And then also, why didn't you just talk to Dance On about like creating a subcategory within them that does this whole area instead of going out and kind of creating like a dual group? I feel like it could be under them in the two grand category.
Be careful with separating these questions.
So with the Dance On, we never thought about like doing a subcategory because Dance On is their own thing. And just like Dangle Dancers being created, put a bunch of blood, sweat, and tears into it, we've done the same thing in order to create this. And this is a completely different thing than what Dance On is trying to do because in their constitution, they sent their constitution to us. They're not competing at a collegiate level, and that's what we're trying to do. Yeah, they could amend the constitution and say they want to compete at a collegiate level, but as of right now, that's not a thing. And we were just kind of looking to create something where people come only for that purpose. Does that make sense? And then,
yeah, so and then as for competing in the All-Star division, our Prowlers love that. The Bingo Dancer alumni has suggested multiple times in this meeting, but we never suggested that. We have engaged with those the competition with them, but they have suggested All-Star.
Any further questions? Senator Hollister.
How do you think the Bengal Prowlers would do at a collegiate competition?
to be honest, I have no idea because we haven't been able to like work on a competitive dance yet because we haven't been approved, so we can't fundraise the fund and all that stuff. But really, what we're looking for is the experience of the competition. We're not expecting to like win the national title, you know. The greatest thing about competition is the experience. I've never won a national title. I've never had that feeling. That's not why I like to go to competition. I like to go to feel that energy. It's the most amazing experience. I don't know how to explain it, but it is one of the most amazing feelings that I've ever had.
Okay, this section is out of time, unless someone will not, Senator Morales.
Move to table approval for club until next week. Second.
It has been moved by Senator Coronado to table the approval of this club, seconded by Senator Branham.
Unanimous.
Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, the approval for the Prowlers Dance Club will be tabled until next week's Senate meeting.
Thank you. Thanks. I will leave the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will now move on to our president's report. President's report from the
Hi guys, I'm gonna keep it as brief as possible. So the first thing I wanted to let you guys all know, I know that last week I asked you to start talking with your constituents about possibly funding the I. One thing I did fail to mention is that you can also talk to your constituents about if they are not interested in funding the I, or if it is not something that is a main concern of theirs, perhaps what they would like to see around campus. And realizing that there are a lot of trade-offs to the opportunities we have with this money. The same amount of money, the $60,000 that was talked to you guys before, would be able to redo our entire Bengal theater. That's something you should think about. That's something you should talk to your constituents about. That same money could be used to fund a number of projects on campus. I don't want you as a Senate to feel like, because I brought up the fact that we should talk to our constituents about the I, that is the only project we can do as a Senate. This money is to help benefit the students. And if the students do not feel like the I is a benefit to them, then perhaps they think something else is more of a benefit. And that's something to consider and to talk to our constituents about. Also, I would like to let you guys know that we went into a meeting for
for the medical amnesty initiative that we had talked to you guys about previously. We are currently looking at the current Utah legislation that was recently passed regarding the same issue to better understand how Idaho would perceive a medical amnesty change. I will keep you guys updated on that. I'm also requesting that U of I and BSU send me their legislation with their senates and organizations currently, so that we can better align ourselves if we decide to move forward on this issue. One other issue that I'd like to bring up to you guys, currently our directory is one of the only directories in Idaho that is an open directory, meaning that anyone from outside of the university can see ISU students' directory information. Recently, I think in the last 3 years, it was required to take off the phone number of students, but your email is still open to the public. I have brought this issue up mainly because several students have complained to me about being spammed in their ISU email, and it is very difficult for us to stop that from happening. Our filters are in place, but oftentimes it is a human trying to spam students. It is very easy for them to overcome those filters. So we are working currently to see the trade-offs of closing our directory and how that may benefit and hurt students. So if you have a personal belief on that issue, please let me know, because I will be going into those meetings next Monday to discuss what to do with that. The next thing I wanted to let you guys all know, our parade float is coming along beautifully. I want to give a big shout out to all of the members of communications and all of the other senators who have put so much time and effort into building our float, making it beautiful. And a special shout out to Senator Muir, who spent countless hours making this float a reality and making parts of this float that I think will be very iconic to ISU in the future. One thing that we do need from one person at least, but I would prefer more than one, is line up for the parade. Typically, we are allowed to line up and start moving into parade lineup at 7:30. Typically, someone shows up about 7 to get a good spot so they can immediately go into the lineup. The reason I bring this up is because the farther back in the lineup we are, the longer we will be in the parade. So if any of you have other commitments during homecoming, if you have to be at a specific function for the homecoming tailgate or anything like that, or anything else that your clubs, organizations may need to have you at to get incentive points and such as that, could be hindered by the fact that this parade will be go on until about 12 if you are the last people in the parade. Then you have to shovel back down to pick up your car. So that could lead to a lot of senators and a lot of our members being particularly late to their events. So I would hope that at least 1 or 2 people could show up and move the float into position at 7 a.m. If no one else is interested, I can definitely do that. I'm not very good at driving big things, so I would prefer someone else to drive so that our float makes it there safely. So if anyone is interested in that and would be willing to meet me at 6:45 to move the float into position, that would be fantastic. If you could let me know. The other thing that I'd like to point out is that I would want everyone there no later than 8:30 a.m. so that we can give a plan of action. We are not allowed to throw candy from the float, so we will need people on the float and people walking to throw candy. We also have different signs that communications has made for us to be able to show off a rainbow pride. So there's a lot of things going on that we need to have planned out before the parade starts to enter. Please be there no later than 8:30. It starts on 2nd Avenue. The entry point is Stutter, I believe, or I think it's Stutter. I will let whoever is going to be know that in particular, but we will be sending out an email to you guys to let you know where our location is. If you do not get the email, just walk up the line. We will see ASISU there. Also this Friday, we will be putting the finishing touches on the float. The balloons were not ordered until today because we do not want them to inflate They will be on Friday. And then a few other finishing things that will be finished on Friday. So if any of you guys have free time, please let me know so we can finish up this float. It is looking very nice for our showing on rain day and Saturday. Does anyone have any questions? Anything like to talk to me about?
Senator Johnson.
So just to clarify, my job, my boss is the one that's providing the check. And when it's done, we just providing the chair. So I'm assuming that I can just ask them to be there at 6. I'm assuming when we're going to drive the truck. So, and anybody else is obviously up to do it. I'm assuming that at least they'll be there at 6:45.
Perfect. I just was unsure.
Yes, I just.
Wait for your next Senator Hollister.
With the closed directory, would other students still be able to look at that? It's just left to the public.
So a closed directory means that you would have to input a password to send an email to more than a specific number of students. So if you as a club were going to email your entire club list, you may have to input a password. That password would be readily available to all students, faculty, and staff. It would not be readily available to the outside. And that password, from what I have been told, would be changed not very frequently, so it would be a regularly understood thing. That's how NCWI currently use their directory. Both of their student body presidents have talked to me at length about the dangers of an open directory for students. And so because of that, I brought it to the attention of our IT director to allow him to do as he wished, and he has gained information that he would like me to understand. So as soon as I have that information Monday, I will be informing you guys next week about that.
Senator Horn.
So I know that for like the drive IC vehicles, we need special paperwork, but for like the parades and things like this, officers or everything, we don't even give them anything like that, right? Nothing special.
Also, just to be on the same page, please wear orange and black. You don't have to wear your name tag. I actually would prefer you don't wear your name tag because in parade, oftentimes people are moving a lot. There's a lot of chaos and you can lose your name tag, and then that's the whole process. So please wear orange and black. Anything you guys want to wear, you can rep any team, organization on campus. If you want to wear ASI t-shirts, that's completely fine. But please wear orange and black and show the spirit and we're given on parade day. Anything else for me? Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, President Smith. Just so all of these senators are aware, in our rules it states that all Senate meetings must adjourn at 10 p.m. So if there is an important agenda item you would like to cover, or if you'd like to get to something sooner than 10, we must extend the meeting time. Make a motion to extend the meeting time. Moving on, we'll now have our chair and committee reports, starting with the Senate Pro Tempore Chair Committee. Senator Withers.
President Dunlap will keep this short and sweet. Committee please expect no emails sent out this week with appointment slots to sign up for one-on-one meetings for the next week.
Thank you, Senator Withers. Reminder of the Finance Committee. Senator Withers.
Vice President Dunlap. So today in finance, we had a match deposit request. So we had Halo asking us to match, Halo make a request for $500. ISU massage therapy, $143.33. ISU Advertising Federation for $100. Nepalese Student Association for $20. Black Rock Stage, $83.33. Academy of Students of Pharmacy, $500, for a total of $1,336.33. So with that, I'd like to move to approve match deposit request totaling $1,336.33.
It has been moved by Senator Withers to approve the match deposits, seconded by Senator Coronado. Unanimous has been called. Oh, it is a forced roll call. So I'll now turn it over to Secretary Stevenson for the roll call.
Senator Brawl,
Senator Brawl, can you hear us?
Yes. Very.
So we're currently doing a roll call vote for the match deposits. What's your vote?
You're calling out. I can barely hear you.
Do you want to approve the match deposits? How do you vote?
Yes.
Senator Barry,
Yes.
Senator Branham, Senator Hollister,
Yes.
Senator DePaul,
Yes.
Senator Diaz, Senator Colorado,
Yes.
Senator Hornsby,
Yes.
Senator Hurtado, Senator Johnson,
Yes.
Senator Chetry,
Yes.
Senator Muir,
Yes.
Senator Ortiz, Senator Price, Senator Gonzalez,
Yes.
Senator Withers,
Yes.
Senator Wooley.
Yes.
Match deposits do pass.
In addition, the Finance Committee had a new club funding request from the Early Childhood Association. They were unable to get their funding last year, but they are now a function club this year, so they would like us to match $300 for a new club funding request, excuse me. So with that, I move to approve the new funding request for the Early Childhood Association for $300. So
It has been properly moved by Senator Withers, seconded by Senator Hornsby.
Roll call.
Turn it over to Secretary Stevenson for the roll call.
Senator Brawl,
Senator Burrell, do you vote yes or no on approving the match deposit? Yes?
Senator Barry,
Yes.
Senator Branham, yes, Senator Hollister,
Yes.
Senator DePaul,
Yes.
Senator Diaz,
Yes.
Senator Colorado, Senator Muncy,
Yes.
Senator Hurtado, yes, Senator Johnson,
Yes.
Senator Chetry,
Yes.
Senator Muir, yes, Senator Ortiz, yes, Senator Price,
Yes.
Senator Ross, yes, Senator Withers,
Yes.
Senator Wooley.
Yes.
Motion passes.
that's all that Finance has to report this time.
Thank you, Senator Withers. We'll now move to our Rules Committee. Senator Branham.
Thank you. I have nothing new to report.
Thank you, Senator Branham. We'll now hear from our Appointments and Reviews Committee. Senator DePaul.
In our previous meeting, we had an appointment with Ethan Oaks for Supreme Court Justice position. I move to approve Ethan Oaks for Supreme Court Justice position.
It has been moved to approve Heaton Oaks for the Supreme Court Justice position, seconded by Senator Hornsby.
Yes.
Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, Heaton Oaks is approved as a Supreme Court Justice.
I would like the president to swear him in.
Okay. There's a specific arm.
The right arm.
Hold on.
I do
I do
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
to uphold the Constitution and bylaws of the Associated Students of Idaho State University,
to uphold the Constitution and bylaws of the Associated Student Association of Idaho State University,
and to act
and to act
in a manner
in a manner
which will be a credit
which will be a credit
to the association
to the association
and Idaho State University.
and Idaho State University.
I promise to accept all duties
I promise to accept all duties
assigned to me by the Student Senate,
assigned to me by the Student Senate,
and fulfill my responsibilities with diligence.
and fulfill my responsibilities with diligence.
I will,
To my utmost,
promote and enhance the name of Idaho State University.
promote and enhance the name of Idaho State University. Thank you.
Is that all present to you?
One more thing, in our previous meeting, did we are voting members? I'll be sending an email to all the senators. That's all.
Thank you, Senator DePaul. We'll now hear from our outreach committee, Senator Muir.
Make sure to email me if you want to be involved with the student forum. It's October 26th from Monday 11 to 1. Right now I have 3 people signed up for the 11 to 12 shift and 2 people signed up for the 12 to 1 shift. So we still have room for more people in both. So thank you.
Thank you, Senator Muir. We'll now hear from our communications committee, Senator Chetry.
I have nothing to report.
Thank you, Senator Chetry. And last, we'll hear from our service committee, Senator Price.
Thank you, Vice President Belknap, and your recommendation.
Thank you. We have nothing in old business or new business, so now we will reopen the gallery for our final question and answer. If anyone would like to approach the Senate. Senator Price.
Motion to extend Senate meeting to 10:30 for open discussion.
It has been moved by Senator Price to extend the Senate meeting until no later than, not mandatory to 10:30, but no later than 10:30. Seconded by Senator Beery. Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objection, the Senate meeting will be allowed to go till 10:30. Senator Price.
Motion to open discussion about Prowlers Club.
It is been moved by Senator Price to open a discussion on the Prowlers Dance Club, seconded by Senator Hollister. Unanimous has been called. I'll now turn the time over to Secretary Stevenson for the roll call. Senator Barral.
Abstain.
Senator Barry.
Yes.
Senator Branham.
If the motion passes, because I was given an opportunity to close the gallery, we will close the gallery. And if it does not pass, we'll leave the gallery open until we can then close it. Senator Hollister.
Yes.
Senator DePaul.
Abstain.
Senator Dominguez.
Yes.
Senator Guardado.
Yes.
Senator Hornsby.
Yes.
Senator Hurtado. Pass. Senator Johnson.
I don't think this is the appropriate time to discuss this.
Senator Chetry.
No.
Senator Muir. Senator Ortiz. Senator Price.
I move to open the discussion because obviously they're still here, they're still wanting to hear what we have to say or what information that we have taken from them, and then either come to us with their opinion of what we've had interpreted as senators. I think it should be open.
Senator Rosales. No. Senator Withers. Senator Morley.
I have brought up this objection due to the fact that we have a lot of information that's passed in front of us. I think that we should take some time, since we have already voted and passed the motion to table the matter until next Wednesday. We should give ourselves some time to think about all this information that's going through, contact the leaders of these organizations, and get a chance to understand the situation that we're actually situated in. So with that, I hope that.
So now, Senator Brandon.
I agree with everything. Senator Hurtado?
No.
Would anyone like to change their vote? Senator Benitez? The noes have it, the motion fails. The gallery is still open if anyone would like to approach. Seeing none, we will now close the gallery.
Vice President Bona.
In this time of other business, I have a few last minute questions that have arose from what I have heard and what have arisen from what other people have heard that I would like to ask the Prowlers Dance Club. After I ask them, I invite one of their executive members to please come to, if they are yielded time, please come forward and answer these questions. Upon reading your sheet that you pass around, it appears, as I'm reading it, that there's only one division for Division I schools that have a football team. If that's incorrect, please clarify. And so that leads into my second question. My second question is, would you be competing in the All-Star Division? And then if you're not, would you be competing directly against the Bengal dancers? And if so, how would your competition differentiate from that of the Bengal dancers? Thank you.
Let's yield my time to a colleague.
Hi, Jeff Paul again, President. So on that sheet, I don't know why it doesn't say it, I've personally contacted the director of National Dance Alliance. We can move up a division. So we would be competing, there's like 1 and 1A. Yeah, so we would compete at 1A. If that makes sense. Or we can do Division 1. There's 4 different categories in Division 1. Bengal Dancers does 2 categories. We would do like one of the other 2. Does that make sense?
So on this sheet, it says teams competing, it says Division 1A, teams competing from Division 1A football schools, and then teams for just Division 1 would be schools that do not have football and compete in Division 1 basketball.
Because I just contacted her and she said that to me. So I don't know how to say it because the sheet says otherwise than what she said to me. She told me, I told her we would be a club team. She said where we would put it. So she said you can either do one of the other categories. You could compete against Bengal dancers, which we're not doing. So we won't be doing the same 2 categories. We won't do any. Okay, the steps of Okay, so there's 2 divisions, and within every division there's 4 categories. Open dance, hip hop, tom, and teen. So usually Bingo Dancers does hip hop and open dance. That would leave us, if we wanted to do the same division as them, we would do either teen dance or tom. If we moved up a division to 1A, which I was told by the director that we could do, we'd be able to do whichever category we want.
Then there were, excuse me, basically, no matter what, you will never be in direct competition with.
Exactly. We will never be competing for the same title.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Now, if you all please stand and join me in singing the ISU fight song. Senator Hollister.
I move to adjourn. Second.
It has been moved to adjourn by Senator Hollister, seconded by Senator Fortunato. Unanimous has been called. Seeing no objections, we will adjourn after roll call.
Senator Burrell.
Senator Burrell.
Senator Barry. Senator Brown. Senator Hollister.
Here.
Senator DeCall.
Here.
Senator Dominguez.
Present.
Senator Fortunato.
Here.
Senator Hornsby.
Here.
Senator Hurtado. Present. Senator Jason Wall. Senator Johnson. Senator Crabtree. Senator Muir. Here. Senator Ortiz. Senator Price. Here. Senator Rosales. Senator Sidwell. Senator Withers. Senator Worley.
Here.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
Okay, thank you. So I don't appreciate why they spend
Oh, God, I'm on.
It's our job.
I hope they start getting on there.
Campus recreation. Campus rec, sorry. Dangle dancers are not portable, they are also released. It means that we didn't want to basically send forward details.
Oh, awesome.
And I can understand that,
Really interesting after my last name.
but.
Okay.
And so he's very against
against it.
Where's
but
John?
It says yes, out, that you guys are.
John!
Oh, that's a good picture. I won't see how that's. We're kind of. Yeah, and that's kind of exactly how it was here. When I said, she's like, well, no other dance club is a sports club, and I said, yes, but none of the other dance clubs. So,
I think like she did it,
like the controversy and wanted to say.
and like we understand like being a dancer and being a dancer and like you're gonna have like so many steps, but I'm also being a dancer, and like so I understand like lots.
So I think that's the issue that this is happening. Is not
It makes sense.
everything like the club, because of the club that's not the not the club, it's a sports club, which is different from the yeah, and so it's different, so I just wanted to go back.
We completely.
So that's why we
Oh, you say plague, I was like, oh, I have a cold, but it doesn't want to go away. Like, I'm good, like, you know, but it doesn't want to go away. Okay, I don't know. You're one of the executives. I don't know if someone just came to me about this. Is there a way that you guys can send us or send one of the students a consultation? Because one of the Sorry.
It's not your fault. I decided to ask.
So I need documents.
I didn't know. I was like, we have another open gallery at the end. Like,
Because we don't really have many opportunities to speak to like we have August next week, but just in case we need to
well, I don't think like it's hard for all of them like to show up at this time. Like just ask them, be like, oh yes, you're back here again and again and again.